the Tyrese thing for a minute. It's weird. It's real weird. And then in some cases, it's not weird. But let me explain. So basically, the gist of this whole thing is that Vlad TV, and just like I told you guys, a lot of these other outlets, they offer money, to certain individuals. And that money can extend anywhere from, the person's asking fee, which Tyrese, I'm considering he's probably pretty much up there. So even $5,000 is a low ball. I'm going to say that for Tyrese. After 10 Fast and Furious movies, excellent career, stellar career, a lot of y'all are not throwing in these Coca-Cola commercials and endorsements and things like that also with a lot of these artists. So when I say that Tyrese is worth more than $5,000, I'm pretty sure the bigger outlets pay Tyrese a little bit more than that for his fee. So I will say that. Now, I will say this about Tyrese. He was able to show and expose and I guess dig up the text messages and exchanges that him and Vlad TV had. I'm not really a fan of that. I think that's some like low ball, I don't know, feminine type of movement, but whatever. So he showed, and it depends on the situation, because I've done things like that before too, so I don't want to call it fully out, you know what I mean? But in this particular situation, I think it could have been handled different based on his start. Now Tyrese, and I put the link in the description box so you guys can go check out all the text and everything like that or whatever. Just go to the description box, click that link, and make sure when you're there, make sure you hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. We're going to be doing some real good stuff this coming up week, starting Sunday and actually 3 days into the week. So if y'all want to see that, y'all want to be, I know how I am, I go right there and I'll film everything. So these text messages have a little bit of everything. And then another thing that Tyrese got mad about was he got mad about Lil Boosie. And he said, Lil Boosie, where's his tax returns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? Don't do that. Don't do that. You guys, like Kanye, that's where he made his mistake. Stop talking about money. Stop talking about money. Not in today's day and age. At one time we could do that. I understand, trust me. I was part of it. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here. I was part of that culture. We used to talk about money, get money, show money off. I was part of it. And in a big way. Bigger than most, let's put it that way. And so with that being said, in today's time where you have a lot of people down, a lot of people don't have a lot, it's not a very good idea to talk about money in front of a certain company, or especially to a large audience such as the internet. It's not a good idea. It makes you look like a bully. You know what I mean? So Tyrese decided to dispose that about Boosie, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, Boosie's not broke. Tyrese, Boosie's not broke. And to make him look like he's a co-conspirator with Vlad, nah, that ain't it. Let's get into the real gist of it. I just wanted to give y'all a quick little synopsis. Y'all go down below, hit that link, and you'll see all the text messages. I put them together before I even came on here and went live with you guys. So you can go down below, go in the description box and click that link, and you'll see all the text messages yourself. I'll also make it available in the community section where you found this link. Now, this is where Tyrese is wrong, and I want to emphasize this. Tyrese is wrong because, one, Tyrese, you made a vague mistake here. Let me tell you what that mistake was. The mistake you made, sir, was thinking that Vlad is the culture vulture. Vlad is the one that's the problem. When in fact, sir, it was all the black outlets and Latin outlets on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook that were making fun of you. Black faces, Latin faces that were making fun of you. Why? Because you were crying on camera, my G. Never go full retard. Never go full retard. That was a terrible role by Robert Downey Jr., a career choice. He found that out. This is a terrible career choice. You got on camera and you were crying, my friend, about a woman. And if you loved that chick and would have given her your left lung, you never get on camera, superstar, not superstar, crying about a chick. You just don't do it as a man. Other women will look at you weak. They won't choose you, ultimately. And that's what Tyrese did. And it wasn't Vlad TV that was making fun of you about crying. Vlad talked about it after the fact, and everybody else crushed you. The memes that were made, the different outlets, the Jasmine brand, what's the other one? Such and such publications, all the regular ones that talk about everybody's business except for their own. That divulge everybody's secrets except for their own. All those outlets that were black faces or owned by black faces and Latin faces. They were the one that were making fun of you initially. And if you say anything else other than that, months before, let me emphasize that, months before. So you chose to call out Vlad and chose to call out Boosie, and Boosie didn't even say anything bad. That's the whole thing about it. Boosie didn't say anything bad. So it behooves me. It behooves me, Tyrese, my fellow ballhead brother, that you would go about the lengths of attacking Vlad TV. Now, let me tell you something about Vlad TV. Let me tell you guys a little something interesting. I get what some of y'all are saying. And I'm not just saying that because my ex-boss is up there and he does interviews up there with different artists and stuff like that. I'm not saying that to save face. Press no me, no, I say it. All right, that's my problem. That's why a lot of people, that's another story. But anyway, they love me nevertheless. I'm the smart one, professional. Now listen, I'm telling you this, and I'm telling you this for a fact. Now listen very carefully to me. All right, because this goes for artists, upcoming artists, etc., etc., etc. I saw you over there too, Scarlett. Let me tell you something. When you go to any interview, and if you don't know this, especially major media interviews, I was there when the first major rollout I ever did was for the Forever album from Puff. All right, and we did that at the time at High 97. First time I'd ever been down there. All right, this is a fact. And he had the baby blue, baby blue drop top Bentley. Probably about $200K, $200,000 easily. Had the kid on it, so I'm saying probably more like $350,000. It was nice. I got a picture in front of it. I put it up for you guys a little bit here, amongst all the other pictures and videos I put up in my time working with that company for 17 years. So I know this for a fact. When you do a rollout in the media, or you sit down for Q&As in the media, the Hot 97s, Power 105s, usually your manager or somebody has something entailed, or somebody part of your entourage has something entailed beforehand, before you even sit down and do the interview, or what questions can and cannot be asked. And that's what you guys need to start taking advantage of when you're doing interviews with YouTubers, having exchanges with YouTubers. Because make no mistake about it, Vlad, respectfully, Vlad's a YouTuber. Successful YouTuber, but he's a YouTuber. He's not part of any major media outlet like Fox, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. Y'all gotta learn the difference. So with that being said, with your sit down fee of being he offered you $5K and he asked you if it was still on. So rightfully and respectfully such, you must have agreed to the $5K at some point or another. It may have been the past, you were doing a favor, you were favorable of the interview you had at past, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, Tyrese. I don't know. But what I do know is, and I want to give you this, guys, as a little gem here. When you go to any of these YouTubers, and I just said it the other day, and here I'm saying it again. If you go to any of these YouTubers and you sit down and you talk to them, you best be prepared that they're going to try to get the gist and the gist of everything that's happened terrible in your freaking life. You got to understand that you got to get the gist of everything that's going on and figure out whether or not they're going to attack you, they're going to make fun of you, they're going to use a segment of the interview that they did with you and clip it under a minute and make it look like something totally it isn't. You got to expect all these things. And that's the thing that y'all don't do. Y'all don't expect this to happen between black and Latin YouTubers, but I would say it happens even more. In fact, there will be other YouTubers that will make fun of Tyrese for getting made fun of for crying previously on camera about a woman. There's going to be a whole set of YouTubers that do that. So when you go over to Vlad TV and you sit down and you try to emphasize the fact, well, Vlad's white, and you do it for a white publication or whatever, every last one of you is just running over there. Every last one of you, if he's paying the people getting interviewed, they must need the money. If you don't need the money, go do the interview for free. Then you control everything. I don't have to be in here. I can walk out. But y'all don't do that. What they're trying to do is they try to capitalize on the moment of actually getting interviewed by Vlad. And they see the hundreds of thousands. This is why I try to tell y'all. Y'all look at the views and the subscription rate versus the substance of what you're about to engage in. Meaning this, y'all go over to Vlad TV with the wrong intentions anyway. Your intentions is to go viral, hopefully revive your dead careers, many of you, when really the only thing you have to do is make some music. We don't want to see an interview, we want to hear your new song. Tyrese, you got another chapter of the Fast and Furious out right now, and instead you arguing with Vlad TV when you should be promoting that sorry, lousy ass movie. That movie is trash. It's unrealistic at this point. You know what I'm saying? I was messed up when they had Hobbs and Shaw out, and I saw him jump from one end of the building to the other. Did y'all see that? Him and Idris Elba. Shout out to Idris Elba, Stringer Bell. Oh, I am Stringer Bell. Trust that. Every emphasis of the word. that's why I got the nickname, Stringer Bell. Please believe that. If you know Stringer Bell, you know what I'm talking about. Watch The Wire if you've never seen it. I'm in a little pickle here. Because you guys go over there and you try to resurrect your careers or resurrect the moment or go over there and talk or whatever what you want to about Vlad. Vlad doesn't put you under pressure. You say it openly and voluntarily. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't force you and hold you by the neck and say, oh, yo, you must sit here. But your only emphasis is that Vlad is Russian. He's married to a black chick, by the way. That's y'all's only emphasis. You know, he's a culture vulture, but black people to do the same thing, Latin people to do the same, they okay. Is that what you're telling me? You got to watch the messaging that you're putting out here, Tyrese. You're sending a message that it's only okay for black and Latin people to make fun of black and Latin people or let black and Latin people expose themselves on a YouTuber show. Nobody else can do it but us. If there's going to be any salacious material, if there's going to be anybody doing this one, they almost sound like, you know, some hillbillies. If anybody's going to marry my sister, it's going to be me. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really peep the mentality of these folks that are doing this or whatever. So as you're in a rat race and you're exposing people, like let's say for example the art of dialogue. I'm not attacking them or anything, but you've had several clips now that have went viral, sir, and all of them I would point out and say you divulged a lot of information. We first found out about what was going on with my man down in Jersey and Foxy Brown, Keith Murray. You know, and coincidentally, Keith Murray, he got arrested in that jail time he did it right here in the state of Connecticut, believe it or not. I think I was out of Waterbury. But whatever it was made, that clip went viral, started a whole conversation, gave a lot of other YouTubers material to talk about, etc., etc., etc. Nobody was up in arms about that because out of dialogue, the interview was black. Okay, let's move on to some other ones. I don't like a lot of the stuff. What's that shit called? Comedy Hype? They put on there. They put a lot of stuff on there and allow black and Latin comics to get on there and expose people, something that happened 15, 20 years ago that really nobody's business. Nobody says nothing. They don't say a word. Want me to keep moving? I can keep going on. As these other guys, what are they called? Every minute, they try to give these little snappy titles to try to engage you in. I forgot what they're called. But they're another little podcast or whatever. They do the same thing. They even sometimes so much exaggerate stories in the title that you almost confused. You're like, this ain't what I clicked on for or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad to me, man, that you want to call Vlad a culture vulture. He may or may not be. But you don't want to call out African Americans and Latinos to do the same exact thing in droves. All of them are trying to be Vlad TV. If you really want to get down to the motherfucking bones of it, they're all trying to be Vlad. We don't talk about that. Every last one of you vloggers worship Vlad TV. You talk about whatever, you say whatever, call them a culture vulture, whatever. 95% of the people that say that, they will go over to Vlad TV if he called them right now and said, hey, let's sit down and do an interview. Oh, this will be wonderful for my brand. And I told y'all about that brand shit. These videos that we upload, if you just read your little contract that you have when you sign up here at YouTube, you're going to finally read between, it's very hidden, but you're going to find very easily between the lines written there that you don't own none of these videos. None of them. Google owns every last one of these videos or shares ownership with every last one of these videos as long as it sits on their profile. The only, their app. If you remove those and you put them, like you rip them or whatever, and you put them in the cloud and save them or put them on extended storage, then you have ownership of it. If you film it, edit it, and then upload it, you have ownership of it, partially. But if you do a live on here, they have total ownership of it, even if you rip it. And you share ownership if you upload anything. Now, if you don't believe me, go check out your contracts. You'll find out for yourself. You don't have to believe me. I've been here 2.5 years. I got 3.6 million views. I've done better than some of y'all that have been on here 8, 9 years. You know what I mean? regardless of what you think my numbers look like. I throw up a lot of videos, So I think I'm somewhere around about 1,500 videos I've thrown up in the course of 2.5 years. I go to some people's pages, they only threw up 400 videos, and it's usually 8-hour lives. Back to this. You guys go over there, you call Vlad a culture vulture, which you barred, and I saw the Tyrese, he tagged, what'd you tag it, Dane Dash for? Dave, you went over there and got interviewed by him too. Thinking the same thing, this is great for exposure, Dusko Popperton. I tried to holler at Dame a couple of times, try to get some work or whatever, and he ain't happening. Like most of these guys. They call, see, this is the funny thing to me. Ask these guys who they're hiring outside of their friends. Have y'all ever wondered and it ever struck y'all odd that I was in that business for 17 years, but I'm on here asking for cash apps and shit like that? Does it ever strike y'all mind that a lot of people that are in the music business acknowledge that they know me, acknowledge that they've been around me, for those that do, but yet ain't nobody reached out and say, hey, yo, man, I got some employment for you up here at the office. Or, yo, this artist about to go on tour. He'd be the perfect guy to pick. He worked with one of the best for years. You ever notice that ain't never happened? You ain't never seen nobody, or you never seen any of these guys or heard me say, hey, such and such artist dropped $1,000 in the cash app or $2,000, but these same motherfuckers will go to the strip club and they'll have the Brinks truck pull up. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes at King of Diamonds. You get what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm saying here? You can't talk this culture vulture shit when you're not doing nothing to help the culture except for the immediate motherfuckers around you. Because you have to. They protect them some cases. Some cases, those are the, you know, the gricas or the gangs that they grew up with, so they under pressure. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different reasons. But you'll find most of the time in most of these larger companies, I remember when they called Jay-Z out for this, it was like, hey, all these employees are white. And all employees are white because it was a German company when he first started Tidal. Of course, it was over in Germany or somewhere, Austria or some shit like that when he first started Tidal. But the same holds the same with a lot of these office buildings, a lot of the employees, a lot of the entourage. They be white most of the time. If you're anybody that's in the business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you can't sit there and judge somebody and chastise somebody and say, oh, well, they're a culture vulture, when you ain't doing shit for the culture yourself, except collecting money, basically. If you really get down to the semantics of the whole shit, is release a sound, collect the money, disappear for a couple months, enjoy the money. All right, it's time to recoup. Let's come back, throw out another single, work on another project, jump on somebody else's podcast, give them something to talk about, lead them with for a couple months before we drop the singles, before we drop the album. These are regular YouTubers that figure this shit out now. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all invoked a way of now trying to market to the masses that they're simply not accepting. That's why they're not buying your fucking music, whether it's good or bad. They'll rather spend 20 minutes to find a way to rip the shit off of fucking internet before they buy it. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't fuck with you. That's the truth about it. They don't, to any artist, if you don't understand, they don't fuck with you. The people, they don't mess with you. And sometimes you gotta accept that. So Tyrese says, you're calling this man a culture vulture. I don't want to drain this out too much, but if you're calling this man a culture vulture, I've asked Tyrese, you know what I'm saying? And many other artists that want to call Vlad a culture vulture, what have you done for the culture? Any artist that sees this, anybody that's a multi-millionaire that sees this, that works in the music industry, I'm one of your accolades. I was with a very, very high man in the position of the music industry for a very long time, Sean Diddy Combs. And next time that y'all around at somebody's podcast or something like that, I want y'all to mention this. How come David Lewis ain't got reemployed nowhere? How come David Lewis ain't got 2-3 G's in this thing to keep him up steady or whatever? He's trying to recuperate from the pandemic like most people in society are, and it gets ignored for other waivers of money that should be spent here, there. You know, I've covered them, so I ain't got to say nothing. But y'all get what I mean. Why is that? When you got the money, you're on live every day showing off your money. You're on people's podcasts every day showing off your money. How come you ain't divvying none of that money up? At least divvy it up a little bit of change with people of your same accolade, with your musicians. Vlad was a DJ before Vlad went online and started doing YouTube. And many of y'all don't know that. His name was Vlad the Butcher. He used to come up to the office or send one of his peoples up to the office and give records. We used to call it whitebacks. And anything that was breaking at the time for our company or whatever, he would get the records or whatever, for a lot of other people. There was certain DJs that could do that. Clue was one of them. Envy was one of them. You know, it's certain DJs that could do that. They ain't gonna say nothing different. Ask Vlad himself. They ain't gonna say nothing different. You was coming up there to get them white backs from Hen Rock. Shout out to Blue Fame Agency. Used to come up and get the white backs from Dennis. Sometimes I would hand them out. Sometimes Ron would hand them out. It was certain people that would pick for that. You understand what I'm saying? With the promos and everything like that or whatever. So that's how I ended up doing a lot of the DJs, because, you know, they would come up to the office and get white backs and shit like that. So some of these DJs y'all talk about, y'all homage, I've known these motherfuckers for like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? So I used to come up and get those records. Bob was a DJ, so he part of the accolade. And a lot of people don't realize that Vlad was an actual DJ. You know what I'm saying? And then we started the website, took the website from there and went over to Facebook. Then Facebook, and then he went from over there to Facebook, and then he went back to the website. Then I saw him pop up here on YouTube. And ever since YouTube was going, it's been streaming steady. So if anything, some of y'all should be thanking Vlad TV. Vlad TV is giving you a space to talk. Vlad TV has resurrected some of y'all to a certain point that people start talking about you again. And previously they weren't saying shit. Vlad TV has seemingly seeped into the minds of every last one of y'all, along with TMZ. This is who y'all hold as the forefathers of this whole media shit. And you say it all the time. You don't even catch yourself saying, I saw the other deal with Vlad TV. Yep, he was over with Vlad TV. They don't say all the dialogue. They don't say any of these other comedy hype. They don't say, oh, I saw it over here. No, they say, I saw it at Vlad TV. Oh, it's got to be true. Harvey said it over at TMZ. You homage white men. You pay homage to them when the time is right. And then when the time doesn't accord to you, then you want to call them culture vultures. Y'all motherfuckers ain't making sense, man. You're calling them culture vulture. You're calling him a culture vulture, but the motherfuckers get on here and talk about people every day. I'm wrong for talking about them. No, I'm going to talk about them motherfuckers, because they're the problem. If you get on here and you encourage or engage in the same behavior that you're accusing Vlad TV of, then you're doing the same thing. You're using the culture to get ahead. Imagine somebody buried up to their neck. This is how they say one of the temperaments and one of the punishments goes in hell. It depending on if you're a liar, I think this is what this one is. And this is according to Dantes Inferno. If you have never read the book, I implore that you read the book, or the Battle of Gilgamesh. In the book, there's a whole bunch of people that are buried up to their neck in dirt, and they can't move around or anything like that, or whatever. And assumingly, if anybody's passing through this chamber of hell, people are walking over top of their heads or whatever, and they're held as heretics. That's the word, heretics, etc., etc. These are liars, crafty with their tongue. This is the majority of motherfucking YouTubers nowadays. And if God himself came down here tomorrow and he judged the reign of all the YouTubers, all of y'all be buried up to your necks too. Maybe even possibly myself. It's a reality. So what I would tell you guys to do is, in the future, if you're going to call out Vlad TV and call him a culture vulture, and this goes specifically for black and Latin people, because these are the only people I see doing this online. Y'all know who y'all are. If you're going to call out Vlad TV, then I need y'all to call out some of these other black faces and brown faces that say the same thing. And I know what y'all going to get. I know what the setback going to be already. Oh, you on that cat because your boss be on there giving motherfucking interviews, nigga. And say what you want to. Now, I'm saying what's real. What's real is, y'all niggas calling him, or Tyrese rather, calling him a culture vulture. Some of y'all have too. I seen y'all in the comments over there. There you go, stealing from the culture again. No, y'all niggas stealing from the culture. Now, when we gonna have that fucking conversation? When we gonna have the conversation of so many black and brown faces on YouTube using the culture to get ahead, using the culture, telling lies and everything else? We don't call them out, but you want to call out Vlad TV because he's white. That don't make sense to me, Tyrese. Because there's a whole bunch of people that talk shit about you crying on motherfucking air. For the world to see. It's still up there, shit. You lucky I ain't put that up. Rebecca Towns, today's my birthday. Happy birthday, Rebecca. Happy birthday to Rebecca, y'all. One of my subscribers here. Appreciate it, man. Happy birthday to you. Mine was about 3 weeks ago now on May the 14th. So she's a Gemini. So shout out to the Taurus Gemini. I'm at the latter part of being a Taurus. My birthday's on May the 14th, so I fall in line with the double signs, you know what I mean? So happy birthday to her. Guys, also make sure you hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. That's Stringer Bell 80. We're going to be moving around this weekend and doing, you're 70 years old. Wow. Happy birthday. We're going to be moving around, especially this weekend, so we need all your financial support. Trust me, you're going to love it if y'all contribute. So I had another person contribute $50 a day for yesterday. I didn't go anywhere yesterday or last night. I stayed in, watched the Transformers, because I was like, I want to be ready for Sunday, and I've got 2 days this coming up week. So please contribute to that, because as you guys see, it's very expensive to be down there and eat and everything like that. So if you got 10, 20, 30, more preferably like $50-something or $40-something, please throw it in the Cash App at $STRINGERBELL80. The link is in the description box down below. Also, there's a link down below to all the text messages and exchange that Tyrese had. You can go to Vlad TV. You can go check those out. I put those together for you before I even went live. So it will save you guys having to save it up. My husband surprised me with breakfast in bed. That's good. Good. Shout out to her husband. Okay, guys, moving on. I wanted to say this, and I just wanted to end this in a minute here. You have multiple different YouTube pages that are Black and Latino that sit around constantly and don't do any diligence for the culture. There was nobody like me that went to the Row Hotel. There was nobody like me that went up there when immigrants were protesting and leaving that hotel up in the 50s. There was nobody that was there that was a black or brown face. Everybody that was out there was from a white media outlet. You understand what I'm saying? I was literally me, and I think there was another guy, and I think he was from Telemundo. And me and him was kicking it. You understand what I'm saying? I got his card and everything. What's up, Armando? But I'd like, on some real shit, we were the only two minorities out there. And this was an issue for Latinos. The only two minorities. You understand what I'm saying? But center in with me here. But had that been a superstar out there, every Black and Latino outlet would have been out there filming it. But when it's something about human rights, it's something about hard times, nobody's around. That's why I come in, and that's why I do what I do. Hey, Ashley, what's going on? That's why I'm the guy that goes up fearlessly in front of Trump Tower. That's why I'm the guy that fearlessly goes to my ex-office, or which they don't even occupy anymore. This is why I'm the guy that goes in the gifts of things. I've taken you to the Trump arraignment. I've taken you to the Jonathan Majors arraignment. Like, I move around, so that's why I asked. So I want to move around. I'm not going to spend my whole entire summer just doing nothing and not making money. I'm about bread. And if y'all paying these guys to gossip, like I was talking about with Tyrese, because y'all pay a lot of people to gossip, and that's why I chose to take on this story, because I said, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Culture vultures are calling a supposed culture vulture a culture vulture, but y'all culture vultures. And Dane Dash, if you say anything different, you a fucking fraud for that. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Y'all please hit that like button. Dane Dash is an extraordinary man. I took y'all to what Dane Dash is and the Dane Dash Music Group ex-offices were. It's now a fucking restaurant in Times Square. It's embarrassing. It hurts my feelings. Made no mistake about it. It was him that coined that phrase. And so when I saw Tyrese tag him in the post and said, yo, do you believe it? Well, he's been on the show too. And you've been on the show. So you didn't foresee it before then, Tyrese? You didn't foresee it before that? Desco Popperton? That you would be abused too, if that's a standard that you're living under. And so what I found out was, and check this out. What I found out was a lot of these dudes that do these interviews for these different little conglomerates and stuff like that, they get paid. And that was the whole premise here. So you saying, okay, so you say you wouldn't do it for 5, you wouldn't do it for 10, because you say this in the text message. Tyrese says this, you wouldn't do it for 5, you wouldn't do it for 10, you're worth more than that. And so he won't pay you more than 10K, he won't pay you more than 10,000, so now he a culture vulture. But if he would have came up with 15, 20K, then he's all right. Do y'all not get this? Please hit the like button for me. Please hit the Cash App as well. Do y'all not get this? Do I got to break this down for you? I mean, like, are y'all slow or what? He wouldn't do it for 5. He wouldn't do it for 10. But if you agree to his fee, which I'm assuming is about 20, 25, probably for major media outlets, then it's okay. It would have been a whole different discussion. You understand what I'm saying? It would have been a whole different discussion. So basically, Tyrese is saying to me, and I don't know about to you guys, I'll do it, but it's got to be for the right amount. I'll come up here and talk, but it's got to be for the right amount. Oh, how easy you motherfuckers are to buy out. Y'all come cheap. 15, 20,000 to sell out the culture. You know, understand what I'm saying? It would cost you 15, 20, 25, Lord. Then he'll sell you out. Then he'll come up here and talk about you wherever you want to. And that goes for most of you motherfuckers. That goes for most of you. That goes for most of you. Most of you ain't got that held of integrity, especially black and Latino people. You walk around acting like you got some money, but the majority of you poor. So don't sit here and tell me you wouldn't go up there for 20, 25,000. Nah, what he meant was, it ain't enough money for me to come up there, so now I'm gonna react. And that's how they equate it to the same way, Tyrese, when you was on camera crying about a bitch that didn't care about you. Don't worry, pimpin', I've been there. Oh, it hurt. You are not a man, like Corey Holcomb said, until a woman has broken you. That is the God honest truth. You are not a man until you have had your first woman. I'm not talking about your heart hurt or anything like that. I'm talking about a chick you really love that she broke your heart. You're not a man until then. In my opinion, my uncle told me that years ago, and I still hold it true to this day. Now, this is the point, guys. Don't bring that bad spirit around me. I don't have nothing to do with that shit. Point I'm getting at is here, guys, when you get these guys and you call them culture vultures like Vlad TV, when you get these guys and you call them out for whatever the case may be, lead this by example. These are older men now. These are men that are, Tyrese, how old is Tyrese? Like 42, 43, somewhere around there. And you waiting till now to call Vlad a culture vulture? How about the people that produce those crappy ass fucking Fast and Furious movies? Are they culture vultures too? They keep picking you and Ludacris for some fucking reason. They could have killed you off years ago. Nobody would have gave a shit about your characters. Only reason they really show up is because of Vin Diesel. Am I lying? They show up because of Vin Diesel and what's the other girl's name? Jesus Christ. La mujer latina, entonces sabe. I ain't said her name in so long. La flaquita, I forgot what her name is, but Michelle Rodriguez, la Mexicana. These are seasoned actors at this point. So the fact that you even arguing about 5 or 10K with a YouTuber, Tyrese, looks kind of suspicious. I mean, like, you owe some money out, huh? 521, what's going on? Ashley Beasley, what's going on? Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $ STRINGERBELL80. I'm doing a little lackadaisical today here at home in Connecticut. We're going to be on the move tonight and tomorrow, and 2 times this week. We're going to be on location like we usually are. I got something real special for y'all, as I always do. I'm going to head back up to Trump Tower. I'm going to be doing that sometime probably tomorrow. I'll probably do that tomorrow afternoon. I want to talk about this indictment thing and get to the gist of that or whatever, because I'm like, you want to indict him? And I'm not taking up for him. But I said, well, if you're going to indict him, you might as well indict Biden too. Or how about his son? You know what I mean? His son has literally got pictures of him with little girls surrounded. I'm talking about young girls too, like 11, 12, 13 years old. You know the forbidden. Like, you know the rule. If she's skipping, you shouldn't be talking to her. If she's giggling, you shouldn't be talking to her. Anybody want to argue? I'll wait for the motherfucker to argue that one. I had somebody come in one time and they put up question marks. I blocked that motherfucker ASAP. Nah, they don't come in here with that energy, bro. You gotta watch people that bring that bad energy and that bad temperament to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're dreadful people inside. I don't stand for that shit. Keep that shit to yourself. You have any right to feel how you want to. Just don't exchange it with me. Long story short, if we're gonna call out and call Vlad TV, other white, and there's other white YouTubers that are very successful too. What's the other guy's name? I forgot. They try to get at him all the time too. He's an Italian kid from Brooklyn. I forgot what his name is, but I've seen him do a litany of different exposure pieces, go into the depths of what happened back in 1984, 85 and all that shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. All them old motherfuckers are involved in that. You motherfuckers were losers. And you know how I know? Because I was involved in that shit in a real way. You understand? And most of the people here, y'all know what I'm talking about, you know? I tell people all the time, if you ain't never seen $100,000, you don't belong in a conversation with me about fucking money. You don't. You made the front page of the fucking paper, you know what I mean? So don't talk to me about that fucking criminal shit and all that old school shit or whatever. You can stand on the corner if you want to. You know what I mean? See what happens to you. They don't fuck around no more. They give you fucking football numbers now. Let me tell you something, and here in the state of Connecticut, I always like to emphasize, our goddamn governor went to jail. Governor fucking Rolling, that asshole. Anyway, listen, guys, let me tell you something. I want y'all to stop and cease with borrowing Dane Dash's words and calling everybody that's white that vlogs, hey, Annette, calling everybody that's white that vlogs a freaking culture vulture, when in fact, some of y'all are the biggest culture vultures there are. You use the culture to make money. You talk about other black and Latino stars and vloggers and argue amongst each other, beef with each other, call the police on each other, show up at each other's houses. I know the routine. Y'all all seen it here on YouTube. Y'all all do this type of behavior. And whoever this logged off, you one of them people that do it too. You all do this type of behavior, but yet and still you want to call, because of color, somebody else out and put a direction in them and take emphasis off yourself. Now, where I'm from, we call that a chump. That's what women do. Women do shit like that. Women don't take blame for things that they done. I don't give a fuck how. Listen, I got two sisters. I don't give a damn how much you write. You could catch her with the money in one hand and the gun in another hand and a mask on, and that woman will tell you, wasn't me. Nah, this chick ran past me, handed this. I don't know what's going on. So it's comparable to the same thing. You're trying to go up against the grind. You're trying to go up against the tidal wave or whatever. It's just not going to happen. This is not going to happen. You guys have got to start putting emphasis into the shit y'all say online. You've got to start having more integrity instead of attacking each other. Start attacking Tucker Carlson. Start attacking the white establishments that y'all complain about daily. The real ones. Vlad TV doesn't have any fucking political power. What political power does Vlad TV have? No offense. None. So in the end and against the wall, there's 3 years from now, 2 years from now, when they elect another president, you fuckers are going to sit around with your 100,000 viewers, 200,000 viewers, some of y'all a million. I'm in the 5 digits right now, so trust me, I know what you mean by a lot of viewers and how all of them have different temperaments. I block people on a daily basis. You come in here and say something negative, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you can't find your way out of a pickle as a grown-ass motherfucking man, and I say this fully, if you can't find yourself out of a pickle as a grown man, how old is Vlad now? Like 50-something, approaching 50. I think Tyrese is approaching 50. We're not talking about little boys. We're talking about grown-ass men. And for you to attack Boosie, I didn't feel that either. Little Boosie serves his purpose. I think Boosie is on there voluntarily. I think Boosie likes what he does as far as the commentary on there on the show. And I just don't find it a reason to attack Boosie. Boosie was actually, in my opinion, taken up for you. He said, I can imagine what that man was going through. Boosie has like, I think 6 kids or something like that, all from different women. His kids are always around him. He's got a beautiful home. He builds and dishes on his home daily, on a daily basis. Boosie didn't say anything wrong to you. In fact, I find it kind of odd, for some reason or another, that you even included him in the diatribe. You even included him in the conversation. So I'll say this to you, all you guys on YouTube here, here's something I want to say to you. As you're making excuses and saying, this is the reason I said this to Vlad TV, or this is the reason I did this, or this is the reason I did that, just take 5 minutes out of your day. Go look at some other YouTubers' posts. Go and look at some other YouTubers' pages. And what you will find is you will find a litany of black and Latinos sitting there talking about other blacks and Latinos on a daily basis. And they talk about them in the most raunchiest ways. They grab up information about these people that are personal. They invite their kids onto their podcast and wreck them with their kids or whatever. You don't find that behavior disgusting? You don't think that's a culture vulture? That's somebody that's milking the culture. They got cash apps up while they talking about these people. They got cash apps up when they got somebody's son or daughter on their show spilling the beans about their family's personal history. So I don't know how smart you guys are nowadays. I don't know what's wrong with you. It seems like a lot of black people and Latin people have diverted. I know a lot of people, they get on me all the time. Well, that's easy for you to say. You grew up around all those Italian and Greek people. You grew up around, and what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter. It's universal. This is something that cannot be escaped as far as the conversation is concerned, because I'm still part of the culture, black and Latin culture and disparity. So you can't tell me Hey, don't talk about this. Don't get yourself involved in the conversation. Yes, I am going to get myself involved in the conversation. You have a man here that sat there and called this man a culture vulture and said he's raping black and Latin culture, but yet and still you won't call out the blacks and Latins that are here daily talking about black and Latin culture and making money off of it. So when can we have that conversation, fellas? Ladies, when can we have that conversation? I'll tell you when. Fucking never. Because once we have that conversation, a lot of y'all ain't gonna be making no money no more. You'll never have that conversation, and never will. And therefore, so what's going on? You guys make sure y'all hit the like button. Also, make sure you hit the Cash App, $ STRINGERBELL80. That's 80 at Cash App. And also there's a PayPal link in the description box. There's also a GoFundMe link in the description box, and also an Amazon wish list. If you guys wish to purchase anything off of that, I'll reemphasize once again, and I got to do this because somebody told me this is what I need to do. Including tomorrow, I got a special live for y'all tomorrow. Y'all think y'all gonna love it. I'm gonna have some footage that other people ain't gonna have. And 2 times this week, I'm gonna be in the New York City area. I'm moving around, so you know I need to eat. It's gonna be very hot this week here. So, you know what I mean? I need to pick me up a pair of shorts or 2. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys hit up the Cash App, $ STRINGERBELL80. The money's being used for travel. The money's being used for eating. The money's being used to probably give me a shorts or 2 cheap. I'm not an expensive guy nowadays. So I can move around, man. Because like if anybody lives in the New York City area, have you ever been down in the subway down, and when it's hot as hell? Oh my God, it's a different experience. You feel like you're in a sauna. If you ever been downstairs in the New York City subway during the summer, you better bring a towel with you. It's gonna be hot. The heat from the trains, the heat from the train tracks, and just everything combined, and the heat of upstairs, it's like you're in a sauna. So guys, make sure y'all contribute, make sure y'all participate if you have not, and hit the Cash App. Throw $20 in there or something like that. It's not gonna hurt you, all right? Anyway, make sure you do that right now. Let me know if you've done that in the chat room so I can make sure to shout you out on here or whatever. And we can have a good day. I don't do the super chat. Somebody asked me that. I can turn them back on now. My strike is up. The reason I'm not going to turn them back on is because of how much money Google is taking out of the super chats now. And I know the homie, he had mentioned this too in one of his podcasts. King Payne, shout out to King Payne, man. Shout out to Jaguar, aka Shug. That's my homegirl right there, Shug. She gonna be back. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? But she gonna do it her way. Anyway, long story short, guys, I'm tired of all this carrying on what we want to call out one culture, but don't want to look in on a microscope of our culture, which is blacks and Latinos. And if y'all can't do that, you have no right whatsoever calling anybody a culture vulture or any other type of names until you fix that. Until you are one of these stars, which many of y'all are my friends, I've known you for years, or even by passing. You know what I mean? Multiple times I know you at different events and everything else all across the country here. And none of y'all contribute like y'all supposed to. You sit around, y'all told these great words when you're in front of the camera, but in reality, you don't think like that. You don't care about half of the shit that you talk about. Not really, you really care about it. Or you get up, do something, fix it. And like I say to you guys before, don't y'all find it kind of odd that I was around the music business for 16, 17 years, and I can't get one motherfucker to come in here and be like, yo, listen, I know you're trying to get back on your feet, whatever. That's how the real gangsters, let me tell y'all a little quick story. The real gangsters, the real drug dealers, whatever you want to call street guys, whatever. If there was a guy that just got a pickle, or there was a guy that's coming home from jail or something like that, they'd be like, yo, man, here go a little stack. Some dudes still do that. I've seen some Brooklyn dudes do that in the video, and I see some guys on the Bronx do that too. They got money a chain, you know? And I'm like, yo, it's amazing how the street guys show more love to their comrades. And I used to learn this, and this is how I probably ended up hanging in the projects, because those guys were way more authentic than the other guys. Like everything they moved, how they moved, it was just authentic to me. You know what I'm saying? They actually cared about each other too. A lot of those guys in the PJ, you think everybody just over there shooting and clapping, and not. But once they hit this echelon of getting a couple dollars in their pocket, their mentality changes. They make little statements like this. Like, you don't believe me, one of the statements Tyrese said, and like I said, the link is in the description box too, so you guys can go check out the video. I put it together before I went live, so y'all know what I'm talking about. So go down below and check out the video for yourself. Let me make sure I share this, because Some people, they don't like unless you're talking about what they want to talk about and how they want to hear it. And I'm sorry, I'm just not that guy. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, how I want to talk about it. And if you don't like what I'm talking about, I just get more people come in here. I got 5 digits of you. I'm good. You know what I mean? I had 2 people log, oh, we ain't hung. Some people will come in and they'll look at my live for a few seconds to try to get an idea of what they going to talk about on their show. That seems to be the thing here. I caught like 2 or 3 people that are subscribed to me, and I find out through YouTube Studio, because I talk about that towards the end. Anyway, before I get up out of here, that's going to be about my hour, about 15 minutes. I want to use this 15 minutes wisely here. Number one, don't y'all find it kind of funny that, how can I say it? My accolades in the music business or whatever, or my fellow musicians, nigga don't come in and be like, yo, son, here go about three grand. I know you could do it. Get straight real quick. Here, son, here go about 5,000. I know you can get straight real quick. Just for the pure simple fact that I'm on here and I'm screaming who I was attached to, you would think somebody would do that. No. So don't give me that bullshit when you talk about or whatever, or those other 2 people that come in here on a daily basis and hit flag on any video that I put up. I put up a video that hit flag. I want to tell y'all about something else new. Let me just let this pass. Hold on 1 second, guys. Got 2 loud fire trucks behind me. 3 loud fire trucks behind me. Jesus Christ. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right. Whoo, that was loud. I'm glad I got these earphones on. That would have killed my ear. We've been having a lot of fires around here. I think because a lot of people are using, you know, their air conditioners and stuff for the first time. But anyway, I don't want to go too far into that or whatever, but as you see, nobody in the music industry has offered me a job. Nobody in the music industry has offered let me come over to the studio for free, except for one person. Shout out to him, Mark. I appreciate you. Everything you've done for me, I really appreciate you. Mark, who's white, would probably be the only, you guys have heard me mention him before, whatever, but he would probably be, and that's why I went to go see that what's the name, last time I was down. That's why I left. I just ended up calling him. It was like 2:30 in the morning, I think it was. I said, yo, what you doing, man? Yo, I'm at the studio, come through. I'm like, oh, all right, shit. So I went over there, latter part about 5 o'clock in the morning, something, recorded like 2 or 3 things. I'm gonna let y'all hear, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? They came out good too. But that's why I was there the next day, because I was getting ready to go home. The last time y'all saw the video, whatever, and I showed y'all the food I was eating. Anyway, guys, yeah, you ain't gonna have that. You ain't gonna have one motherfucker. So I want y'all to ask a question. Since we're talking about all this culture vulture stuff or whatever, how come none of y'all offered Davin Lewis a job? How come none of y'all dropped 2,000 or 3,000 in his Cash App or something like that? You're gonna hear the room go quiet. The only people that rich people look after is other rich people. The only people that famous people look after is their family or other famous people, or people that can do shit for them. Once you are out of the business, and you don't have to believe me, I saw Hurricane Chris doing an interview or whatever. He said the exact same damn words I said. Don't nobody care. Dr. Dre, who historically was, I'm not talking about Dr. Dre that you know, I'm talking about Dr. Dre. Let me tell you what they did that they let happen to him. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, they used to host a show when I was coming up. It was called Yo MTV Raps. Dr. Dre, the heavier set guy, and many of y'all remember the show or seen reruns of the show. Dr. Dre ended up having to get his leg amputated because he fell sick and fell ill. Do you think anybody in the music industry, including the groups that he broke, came over to his aid? You don't believe me? Go look up the story right now. Now, one motherfucker, and I'm talking about he had everybody. Listen, I'm not trying to throw no shots here, but Big and Craig Mack both were on the show when they were first breaking on Yo MTV Raps. Jay-Z was on there, and many of other y'all niggas was on there. And all y'all allowed that man to fall so pity into financial debt because he owed the hospitals and stuff like that already. He had been going through health problems for a very long time. This was a big man. He was known for being big. And he had stepped on something or another, and because of his size, I really do believe it attributed to it, he ended up catching an infection. And no one wanted to help him. I don't even know if anybody's giving him any money now since. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover birthed some of y'all motherfuckers. Redman, Method Man, the whole Wu-Tang. And they allowed that man to lose his motherfucking leg. You think I would put my motherfucking trust in the rap industry? No, 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 no. This time when we doing it totally different. I do everything by my motherfucking self. Even if I got to pass it on to my kid and end up like that, I will do everything by myself. And many of y'all that have had record contracts or been with record labels, y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I will do everything my motherfucking self. I will sell my song myself. I will manage and try to do everything I can by myself before I fuck with any record label. You have my word on that. And the reason I say that is I want to make sure I have a contingency, and this goes in the sequence of what I'm talking about here. I want to make sure I have a contingency and able to control everybody that works with me is on the same fucking pathway of having a good heart. I want to set up things where people have insurance. There's some of these rappers that get out in the game, and this is what I'm talking about. You talk about culture vulture. Talk about this shit. Talk about the many of rappers and former artists that are on hard times. And y'all motherfuckers go spend $30,000, $40,000 at the bar, the club, or whatever the case may be for the night, but can't throw 30 grand to them. These are people, in some cases, that have brought these people into the music industry. You understand? That's why I mentioned Dr. Dre and that level with Yo MTV Raps. They birthed a lot of people. It was one of the most successful shows that MTV ever had. It kept MTV afloat. So when I saw one of the innovators in hip hop, which is Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, and I saw this man lose his leg, it really hurt my feelings. I said to myself, wow, this is crazy, man. Nobody in hip hop came to help this guy. And they won't come to your aid. So if y'all ask the question from now on, and y'all ask any people who are in my accolade in the music industry, I want you to ask them this. Yo, you know this dude named Darren Lewis? He used to rock with Bad Boy Entertainment, whatever. I can't nobody dropped him like $2-3 grand. Even right after I got out of my little pickle, it still wasn't no flood. Yo, we're glad to see you straight. Let me give you this real quick so you can get your furniture and all that shit right or whatever. Nothing. It's almost like, you know, if you've been at a job for 20 years or whatever, and they give you a watch and a plaque, and they say, well, good luck to you, Joe. I'm lucky I was in the business so early, because a lot of people, they don't get into the 30s or late 20s and shit like that, and they don't get to figure this shit out until, you know what I'm saying, a long time after. I figured this shit out at 30-something years old. I was like, oh, no. Can't fuck with these niggas. This boat is particularly about keeping the captain alive and nobody else. Captain, maybe a couple shipmates, but this boat ain't about keeping the whole crew alive. It's about keeping individuals on the boat alive, particular individuals. And you can say it any way you want to say it or whatever, but that's the truth. And it goes like that with most business ventures. If you got somebody at the helm that's a CEO, SEO, or whoever else, you know what I mean? They're going to run the ship. And you're just part of the crew. Very important lesson to learn. I learned this a very long time ago, and that stuck with me. And ironically enough, I didn't learn this from working with a white company. I learned this from working with a black company. These people will not help you. You understand? So when y'all listening to me, taking it from the advice of somebody that's actually been in the music business. DJ Vlad has been in the music business before he was even doing Vlad TV. I've been in the music business before I was even a YouTuber for 17 years. And there's many other faces, Math Hoffa and Choke No Joke, Big Face Gary, that were actually in the music business. You understand what I'm saying? That are telling y'all, yo, this is what it is. Y'all think it's this way, but it's really this way. And I'm telling you, these niggas don't care what the fuck happens to you once you're out. So raising the point of trying to get it unionized, the hip hop industry, trying to get some type of insurance benefits for some of these artists once they get out of it, setting up maybe some retirement packages for some of these guys that they put in the effort, they put in the work or whatever, but they just didn't quite make enough money, which happens to be the sense with most artists. They just didn't happen to make enough money to sustain all the way through life. You know, they say you need around about $2 million to $3 million to properly retire and be comfortable. From age 65 to life expectancy of 85, you need to win $2 to $3 million to retire. These motherfuckers are spending $2 to $3 million on excursions with their friends. So I couldn't, every last one of those artists that are in that tier that can just easily dispose $2 to $3 million, let's give some to some of these rappers that ain't doing so well or living moderately. Still having to tour in their elder years, or still having to perform in their elder years because they ain't got no money. Let's take care of them. The way we do that is inventing some type of insurance compensation. The way we do that is making sure these people have health insurance. That was one of the problems that Black Rob had before he passed away. He had no health insurance. Excuse me, he did have health insurance. Excuse me, it was another rapper. I'm sorry about that, Puff. I apologize for that. No, they did keep him with his health insurance. They did keep him with his health insurance. But a lot of other artists, they don't get to keep their health insurance or shit like that. You know, money goes away. You owe money on stuff. Tore from 3-4 years ago. Now you're paying that out. So I'd like to see some type of compensation put forth for that. If I got to build it from the ground up on my own and do it from the outside in, I'm going to figure out how to do it. I've got the basic, you know what I mean? But I really have to patent it down and write it down. The next thing that I think should happen, honestly and truthfully, between the men, y'all got to start helping each other. Y'all really do. A lot of y'all come from jealous ass mamas, selfish ass mothers that raised you by yourself, both Black and Latino. Y'all come from selfish ass women, so y'all have selfish ass tendencies. And you don't really, like, for example, sometimes I don't even have it. And I know when I get down to New York, a nigga's gonna ask me for a cigarette. A motherfucker's gonna, and they don't do that real around here where I live. The people just don't do that. But down there, you eating a burger, whatever, it doesn't matter. Niggas gonna ask you for something. You gotta expect it. So I can't tell you how many times, even when I don't have it, one day I shorted myself on what I wanted to get to eat so I could get this dude something to eat. Because obviously he was hungry, he was Black. So I got him something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all have heard me when I'm online, somebody will come up and ask me for a cigarette. I give them a cigarette, whatever. Those are small things to me because I get blessed so many times by viewers and shit like that. So I say, all right, well, the way to ensure that comes in my way of thinking, the karma, is to share. Some of these artists, they don't believe in sharing. They don't believe in the real key to turning the culture, and y'all not understanding it, is using some of this money that you have made and actually making changes. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all not making changes. The only thing y'all doing is putting up fucking little cute shows every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Guess who's getting interviewed today? Y'all doing the same fucking runs that y'all was doing 20 years ago on media. Y'all give me a second, let me share this, because I like to get people in here that spend money and like to hear what I'm saying. Y'all just give me 1 second. I'm just sharing this. I want to make sure I get the people in here so they can hear this and know what I'm talking about or whatever. Culture vulture, Tyrese says. No. We got to start putting the blame, putting emphasis on a lot of these rappers, a lot of these motherfucking entertainers that are Black. I've heard Harry Belafonte talk about this shit. I've heard dozens of Black performers, or even before the current ones that you got right now, and some of them current performers are considered elders in the game now. Tyrese is a veteran in the game. You ain't on the back of the fucking city bus in California singing Sweet Lady no more, nigga. You ain't singing How You Gonna Do Me Like That no more, no. I'm older too, you know, so it's a certain way, I believe, in my opinion, that you got to watch what you say sometimes, because sometimes you might not say it as reactionary versus what really is here presented. And like I said, there's thousands of Black vloggers that make it their fun. I talk about it every day. They make it their business to burn the culture, use people within the culture to talk about and as targets on a daily basis. Sometimes the only premise on their channel is to talk about said person as a star, and they make money from it, and y'all pay them. Y'all pay them. So y'all culture vultures too. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the like button for me if you're in here right now. If you agree with anything that I'm saying, $STRINGERBELL80. That's STRINGERBELL80 on Cash App. You hit that up right now, man. Make sure y'all support this channel. I'm gonna be moving and shaking. I don't just, you know what I'm saying, say I'm gonna do something and then don't do it. I always do it. I'm telling you guys, there's 2 specific places that's coming up early in the week, Monday and Wednesday, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing something for y'all, but I'm leaving out tonight so I can make sure I'm there early. Y'all going to like it, trust me. And I'm putting in a lot of work to make sure that I get those donations. So those donations help me move around and things like that and eat and stuff like that. It's very expensive in New York nowadays. You can't get anything under $12, $13. That little plate of food y'all saw me with the other day, that cost me $9. So make sure you head up to Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80 if you like anything I've said here previously, or you're borrowing my material and presenting it as your own, especially those times. Ooh, I heard a dude one night on YouTube say my exact goddamn words. I was like, whoa, you didn't think of that. I can tell how you talk, you ain't think. You know, somebody say something and you be like, hey, ain't no goddamn way that's his words. You can have them. But make sure you donate, man. Support the channel, man. I move around to do more to y'all niggas. Y'all scared to come outside. Now back to the premise here. We have billionaires in the culture now. Shout out to LeBron James. He does his duty. And shout out to a lot of the younger guys that do their duty. I saw Drake one time. He was driving around Canada handing out money. He did a video. What was that video called? God's Plan. He was handing out money in that video. You ever seen any of these older rappers do that same thing? And you never will. And you never will. You're better off, and I've learned this, I'm better off, and what I've done is I've made connections with more of the younger artists than I do with continuing conversations with older artists. A lot of them are stuck in their way. They think that boom bap is coming back. they yo, what we can do, this how we can change everything. We just need to put this, and in some cases they're right, but it's 2023, man. That shit ain't happening. That ain't happening. So your focus is in the wrong direction. So I more importantly, I like the ideas. I'm a Zennial. You understand what I'm saying? I'm right between Generation X and the Millennials in the year I was born. So I'm a Zennial. That's how it's pronounced. You can go look it up for yourself, and you'll understand. You know, it might even give you an indication how old I am. All right? I'm a Zennial, and I know I'm a Zennial. And we fall in the middle between the Millennials and Gen X. If you want to point me in Gen X, I'm the youngest of the batch of Gen X, if you want to put it that way. But my liking is to more the young, and I guess I kind of fit in that foray more. It seems to be who I have conversations with more. It seems who I interact with more. It seems who I have these discussions with more about moving forward with the culture for real versus sitting around and just collecting money or wondering when your next residuals. Y'all niggas got to be honest too. You're not making as much money as you were. This ain't Master P days. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. This ain't Master P days when you're selling shit out the trunk, or Puff days when you're, moving around selling newspapers, shit like that. This ain't those days. These ain't those times. And with all these millionaires and billionaires, I'm just saying, this effort-wise is more that y'all could do. Cardi B shouldn't be the only one out in Brooklyn or the Bronx handing out jackets when it's cold outside. Please play for my uterus, Dab. I always loved your comedy, Mr. Chappelle. Okay. Please play for my uterus. Hey, what's going on, Mama Lisa? There's more that these artists can do, and they don't do it. And then they turn around, they call certain people culture vultures. Oh, he doing this from the culture. No, nigga, you've been doing the same thing for 20 years. Tell us what you've done. In one short sentence, tell us what you've done for somebody local in the communities that you come from. Because all y'all come from poverty, whether it be fucking Marcy Projects, Mount Vernon, Louisiana, Miami. Most of these guys, they come from poverty, so how do you not understand poverty? If anybody should understand poverty better than anybody and how you can make it out of poverty, it should be you. You should be teaching classes a lot of these rappers. They don't. And I'm talking about a certain ilk of them that are from the Zennial age up to Generation X. That's why I pointed that out. The millennials and most Zennials, they don't think this way. They're like, yo, man, I'm making all this money, da-da-da-da. You see these kids go to the mall. I remember when, what's this kid's name? He just got sentenced with the one eye down there in Jersey. They sentenced him to 6 years. I remember he had a video. He went to the mall and threw thousands of dollars just in a stack. Just for the culture, just for the love. It was like 15,000. He's like, man, I'm going to spend that shit anyway. There's lots of young rappers that do this, but the older rappers who have more money than them don't do that. Isn't that kind of odd to you? Y'all make sure y'all hit up the like button. But we're talking about culture vultures, like Tyrese said. These guys, they hire people that have been around them for years. They hire friends that are around them. If they're women, they just hire other women, particularly women that have been around them. You're not saturating or helping the culture out, and then you make up these excuses and say, oh, well, they just lazy, or they just that, da, da, da. I'm on this motherfucker every day. Every day. You know how hard it is to have a motherfucker even donate $10 to me? And my shit is real. Like, I go to the spot. I don't sit in my bedroom. $STRINGERBELL 80. That's Stringer Bell 80 on Cash App. Tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday, I need to be in the city, and I need y'all support right now. Throw in $10, $20, $30, $50. Some of y'all have been contributing. I appreciate that or whatever. Plus, there's a whole bunch of things other that I need to do. I need to pay. See, the record companies ain't helping me out. Oh, I still talk to niggas. Don't believe that. I get phone call all the time from different people that you would know, a lot of y'all. But I still have engagements or whatever. People wish me well. How you doing? You know, vaguely, shit like that or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's no help. There's nobody dropping $1,000 or $2,000. To really get right, I need around about $3 to $4 grand, you know? And I save my money. I save my money. There's one person on here knows me very well, Miss Foster, and she knows because she tests me a lot of times. You're like, where you at, nigga? See if you at the club, son. Nope. What you doing with the money, you know? And I don't blame her because she's donated to me significantly. I would never, ever question anything that had to do with money with her. And I make it a point, and I used to do it all the time, more frequently. I would show people, I still do. I would show people what I do. I go grocery shopping, I show people, you know? Because you got to know where the money is going to or whatever. Most of these bloggers don't even do that. But they sit in their room and talk about, I'm trying to emphasize something to y'all so y'all understand. It may be y'all. It may be, and that laugh. What's going on? It may be y'all. Do y'all ever ask any of these bloggers that y'all donating to that talk, that have a daily diatribe or talking shit? I mean, is it humor that y'all want? Because I talk to Puff and said we can get the Bad Boys of Comedy back started. And Nori, I need Corey Holcomb over there. I need Corey Holcomb at Drink Champs. You invited Earthquake over there because he had what? Because he had a fucking Netflix special. I need Corey Holcomb over there, ASAP. Do that for me, Tanto. ASAP. Puff, same thing with you. I need Corey Holcomb over at Drink Champs. It's going to be a great show, and it's going. I'm telling you, that interview, Corey, if you hear this and you do it right, it's going to take you and open up some new doors for you. Trust me when I tell you this. It's not gonna work the same. It won't work the same way or be viewed the same way as when Earthquake was on there. You understand what I'm saying? And when you go on there, don't say shit about it. So Corey Holcomb, if you hear this, don't say shit about it. Nori, I know somebody from the team gonna hear it. Get Corey Holcomb up there. He needs to be up there. All right, send him down. He's got good stories to tell. He's got great stories to tell, matter of fact. So I want him on the show ASAP, man. For real, like all jokes aside, it's time. It's time. And I got another 2 or 3 of them I got in line or whatever. Shout out to Dell. I ain't talked to you in a minute, Dell. I'm gonna inbox you in a minute. Comedian Dale Harrison, I like her. She's a good person, just in general. So shout out to Dell. Anyway, long story short, man, there's nobody in the hip hop industry that is helping the YouTubers that are on here. They are just basically relegating themselves to just talking about other black and Latin people on a daily basis, and they make money off of it. I've said this a million times. I'll keep saying it. Where's the culture, Vulture shit in that? Where's the call out in that? Like, let's think about this for 5 minutes. Where other culture besides white culture can you sit back all day long, talk about your own people, and make money off of it while sitting in your bedroom? And I'm not talking about a couple of dollars, I'm talking about thousands of dollars. And the majority of black and Latin people, they hate each other anyway. You know what I'm saying? So let's just start there. They do. I'll speak to a black and Latin man, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. I'll speak to a white man, he'd be, hey, how you doing? Let me share this, guys, get some more people in here. Because I'm going to wrap this up, and I just want to talk to you guys a little bit more about what I'm talking about so I can emphasize it a little bit more. All right. I just want to emphasize it a little bit more. You cannot call somebody a culture vulture when, in fact, you engage in the same fucking behavior. Simple as that. If you make money off of talking about people, oddly enough, bad, that happen to be from your culture, you are a culture vulture. If you are online and your daily diatribe consists of nothing but shaming people, and I'm talking about you never have anything good to say about. Have you ever noticed that if you go to any of these vloggers, they never have anything nice to say about somebody? And the crowds will listen to them, don't have nothing else to say either. They'll be in the chat room or whatever. Yeah, that's right, break the truth. The truth. Watch that shit when people say the truth. But usually when they say the truth, that means bring on the gossip. That's what it easily translates to. Bring on the salaciousness. Bring on the trashing. That's what that shit means. Most of these people, when they say bring the truth, they think that like the old attitudes of town shaming with pitchforks is supposed to change people. No, what you're doing is you're pitting two tiers of society within one culture group. It's almost like a subculture being built in within a subculture. And what these certain groups are trying to do, and if y'all don't see it, that are in the culture, they're trying to set themselves up almost like the artists did, where, you know, like, okay, you move into a neighborhood and it's a gated community. I know about gated communities, so you can't tell me shit. You know, you move into an area and it's a gated community or some shit like that or whatever, and they only want people that are at the same ilk as them, make the same amount of money as them or whatever. Well, there's certain black and Latin people had developed the same type of mentality and the same type of infrastructure. And I'm trying to tell you, sooner or later, they did it at a place before called Prince George's County. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it down in Maryland, and there's several other places like this across the United States, including another area in California that has opulent black people in the neighborhood. There's also some opulent Latino communities in Texas. California has a few of them. Some people would call it Rancho Cucamonga and a couple other areas out there, whatever, where people that make over, generally speaking, $150,000, $200,000 a year of their ilk they live at. Well, this is what that same mentality, this is where nucleus comes from. Basically, you start becoming separatists within your own culture. Other cultures have done this as well. There was a time in this country where a certain group of Italians didn't like how they were displayed on fucking national TV. How come every time you got us on TV, we're mobsters, we're talking like we don't speak English that well, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of Italian Americans rallied against it or whatever. They lost it because everybody likes the fucking Godfather. Everybody likes Goodfellas. Everybody likes these movies. So you're not going to get it removed. You know what I mean? But the point was, there was this group that considered themselves conservative enough, and so they didn't want to be seen the way they were seen or whatever. And just some fucking, I don't know, like in some cases, some fucking stereotypes have some truth to them. Some, not all, definitely not all. I would say, but a good 10 to 15% of them. And each culture has some truth to it. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. And when you can come to accept and adapt to that, black and Latino people, then it'll be better off for you. Like, okay, for example, I give you an example of both blacks and Latinos, not only in my area, but also when I see in New York. The majority of, and I'll start with New York, the majority of men that I see on the street that are sleeping on the street in New York City are black and Latin men, all right? Make no exception about it. I see very few women of both races sleeping on the streets in New York. Very rarely do I. Most of the time when y'all seen it, it's men, and they are men of color, majority of it, all right? Nobody swoops in and says, hey, let's build a new place or whatever, to house these people, because that's really the problem. And a lot of people not realizing that the migrant crisis that came in kind of ailed, if you want to say, or hurt the homeless shelter situation in New York City. So a lot of these people just don't even have space. And the same thing is going on in other towns. And I'm finding out now, this is why a lot of the homeless crowds are leaving and going to other areas. It's not because they're looking for trouble to start. They're looking for somewhere to go at night. Because a lot of times it's cold. This is the Northeast. It get cold out here at night. You know, it really does, believe it or not. So anyway, moving on, because I don't want to drown this out for y'all and stuff like that. But what I have a problem with is, I want to say this the right way. You have all these rich men and women that come from New York City. And now one of y'all motherfuckers has tackled the homeless problem that involves your own people. Sometimes the communities they're sleeping in are communities you come from. And none of y'all come around and say, can I help? Can I donate something or whatever the case may be? Y'all ain't even do this after the pandemic. A lot of y'all motherfuckers don't even live in New York no more. When you come here, you come to the Northeast so rarely where you're from. The people don't even, you know what I mean, know when you're in town. That's right. I've always said that there's lots of stereotypes are true. Lots of stereotypes are true. And some, unfortunately, for the worst. Because the way, and the reason I use that is men sleeping on the streets and stuff like that, because that seems to be the stereotype that's not true. All these men are not lazy necessarily. All these men, a lot of these men have gone through some extreme trauma. Imagine being homeless before the pandemic. The pandemic happens and then now you're still homeless because the facilities are not fully open, they're not fully recreational, they're not really fully ready to place anybody, and especially they're overcapacitated now. And you've got a $1 billion rapper, $1 billion singer, whatever the come from these neighborhoods. J-Lo, when the last fucking time you went to the BX? But you riding around with Ben Affleck for the second time, and Ben looked like he ain't even happy. Something about J-Lo, I don't know what it is. I think the vajay is good, and she just crazy, nuttier than squirrel shit. Same thing goes for Halle Berry. You don't notice how men just get with her. She's beautiful. Both of them are beautiful girls, and then they just leave them. You're like, how the hell did you leave Halle Berry? Probably nuttier than squirrel shit. And arrogant, and a narcissist. Who knows? I just want to see more done, and that's why I brought up this topic. I'm going to get out of here because I'm just kind of babbling now. I know I cut off and I said I was going to give y'all 2 examples, but I don't want to embarrass anybody, anything like that. That's why I kind of fell short, Mama Lisa. But you got what I was saying, and many of you others do. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80 right now if you can. I'm going to be moving around this weekend. I'm telling y'all, I'm not doing it for leisure. I'm doing it for y'all. So y'all have a chance tomorrow to have something filmed for you, and definitely on Monday and Wednesday. So we're trying to accumulate, I don't know, what was that, like $180 for 3 days or something like that. That's chump change. I see you guys put in thousands of dollars for all these people. I mean, if 3 people just donate $50 each, that's fine. I'll handle the other 30. You know what I mean? But I want to do this all summer for y'all because there's so much things that I can take y'all to and expose y'all to. And these places are going to charge you money. I'm giving it to you for free. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all don't live in the New York City area. Well, you do live in New York and just don't want to get up and go to yourself. So I've got a whole bunch of things planned right here that we want to do. Tonight, I'll probably be going up to Trump Tower tomorrow. I might go up tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about some things or whatever. I'm not going to stop going up there, even though I said I was, because I just found it ironic. And I'm going to put up that clip and merge them together, and so y'all can see a little bit better. But in the video I did yesterday, there's now the link attached to the other video, so y'all can go check it out because I had mentioned that in the video. So I just wanted to say that for people that go see that video and didn't see it before. It's there now. But guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. Support this channel. I move around. I don't sit in my bedroom. I don't talk salacious about people. I don't use people's downfalls to make money. I just try to talk about real shit, things that affect us, instead of wasting time and doing the usual spiel like every other YouTuber does. Guess what so-and-so did? Guess who's sleeping with so-and-so? Did you hear about the Real Housewives of Atlanta and all this shit? And they donate to this shit. And I started to ask myself, well, damn, is that how we exchange money? Like, do we, like, it makes you think, okay, I'm gonna say this in closing. If you only donate to people and give them thousands of dollars that talk bad about each other, what is that making you? I'm gonna raise that one more time so you just understand what I'm talking about. If you're a YouTuber and your whole diatribe every day and you collect money from it with your Cash App, you only talk about Black and Latin people on your podcast that are doing substantially better than you in life or whatever the case may be, and that is your diatribe of trying to tear them down, and while doing it you're making Cash App money, then you a culture vulture. You a culture vulture. And the same thing you accusing Vlad TV of, you guilty of. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the like button. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App. I'm gonna go wash some clothes so I can get prepared to leave out. Like I said, yeah, man, I'll be moving around this week. I'm trying to, put all this together, whatever, so I can bring y'all a good show and hopefully bring in more Cash Apps, you know what I'm saying, for my efforts. So if you don't know what I mean, this past week, I was out and I filmed the skies or whatever. We had all the smoke. That's down below, whatever, in the description. In the other videos, I go check that out. We had from the Canadian wildfires. I was out in that, you know what I'm saying, moving around like, hey, because you can't see it. It's not like that over here. Like, hold on, I'll show you the sky over here. You see our sky? Our sky is clear as day. See? Not the same. So we're like, we didn't have that problem. Even the day that y'all saw me filming, it didn't even look like that. The sky looked exactly like it did right now. So I went in the midst of that and filmed not at one location, 2 locations. And I'm like, damn, ain't nobody else do this. Where's the Cash Apps? Nowhere. I had 2 people donate to me. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the people that were watching. So I said, am I doing something wrong here? And then I had to realize, no, I'm not doing nothing wrong here. It's 2 people's fault. One is YouTube, And the reason I say that, we have to rely on YouTube to actually market us. Meaning the longer I'm on here, the more YouTube markets me or whatever. Or I can use a community section and send a post like I'm about to do right now. And then hopefully that gets more people in here, whatever the case may be. But another reason a lot of these people, and I understand now, do these 5-6 hour lives outside of trying to get cash apps, is because of pure simple fact that the algorithm itself has to, you know what I mean, catch up with you, which I just think is cheesy. I think you should be able, like a setup, like kind of like almost Facebook, where if I go live, I could send that live to several people in their personal boxes. You understand what I'm saying? Like I could do the same thing here, drop it off in people's comment section, but it's not the same thing. So I think that's something that YouTube needs to get rid of, because what it's allowing it's allowing people with the same material to get ahead of people with real material here online. So basically, like if you got 15 people and they all talking about, oh, such and such is sleeping with so and so, well, that's where the moderation of the the most of the attention is going to go, is to that story. You understand what I'm saying? If doppelgangers of that story, whoever's got another story just like that or whatever, so now that's the lead. This is what everybody's talking about. And a lot of times it's stupid shit. It's shit that doesn't even matter. I ain't never seen so many people use 5 or 6 hours talking about dumb shit. Who's sleeping with who? Where Jaguar right at now? How's she doing in prison? How this person doing right here? And blah, blah, blah. I wonder what they doing. Like a bunch of children. Like children. These ain't real men. These ain't real women. These are grown children. That's what type of people that care themselves like that. They sit around gossiping about people, whatever. It used to be a time, if you was walking around, you was gossiping about the wrong person, it could get you hurt. It could literally get you hurt. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's that shit you were saying? I'm still like that. I got a whole bunch of compadres like that too. What you say? That's what really need to happen. We need to get somebody to drag somebody out of somebody's motherfucking house, one of these podcasts, drag them out, and somebody film them getting the bricks beat off of them. Maybe that'll stop it. Maybe that'll stop it. But y'all are allowing gossiping to control all of the culture and the conversations based on what y'all upload here on YouTube. You got YouTube and that algorithm thinking, okay, well, all black people like to see this shit. Look, that's all of them. That's the stories all of them do. And I'd like to see some other people rise. I'd like to see my man Kareem over there with Doggy Diamonds. I'd like to see him pop off a lot more. I'd like to see Big Face Gary pop off a lot more, formerly of Rockefeller Records. I'd like to see Choke No Joke, formerly of Rockefeller Records. I'd like to see him pop more. I'd like to see a couple other people pop more. But if the emphasis is nothing but on gossiping and chattering like a bunch of bitches, I was growing up, bitches gossip. Men don't gossip. There's more men on here gossiping than it is women. Am I lying? And then these same men, they won't even contribute or help out their brothers, but want to say, don't call me no, like, one thing I got to say, shout out to Troy Terrain. Don't call me your fucking brother. I hate when a motherfucker says that to me. Nigga, would you drive me to the hospital if I was fucked up? Would you loan me $1,000 if I was in need? Motherfucker say no, or ain't got no answer, you ain't my brother, so stop saying you my brother. I was with a Muslim woman for 7 years. I know what a fucking brother and sisters are. You know what I'm saying? More in depth than you will ever know. I was with a Muslim woman for 7 years. They're practically married to this woman. She wore a hijab and everything. You understand what I'm saying? So don't give me that shit. Her name was Hadia. I ain't gonna say her last name on here because niggas be trying to search her up, but her name was Hadia. Crimson Defender, yes, all right. Yeah, man, when I was younger, I used to have a friend named, I tell this all the time, but the reason I think I was attracted to her, because when I was younger, I used to have a friend named Archie. I had other friends too, my mom's friends and stuff like that, and they actually used to, because my mom and my dad's Cuban, but my mom and my dad met on like some pro-black shit. Like my dad is like black. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was around a lot of y'all until y'all heard him speak Spanish, you would think that he's American, a black man. And the same thing with my cousin Albertisto. Like, everybody think he was black. He's not black. He's Latino. You know what I mean? A black American, no, it's insult. But this is how they got together, because like even in the Caribbean islands, it's a pro-black movement that was happening during those times. You understand? Entonces, sabe, creo que sí, la gente negrito, larguitas. Entonces, sabe, la de cubano, la Honduras. Entonces, a veces muy más, toda la gente negrito. And so, when I was going to my mom's friends' houses and stuff like that, they would have Minister Farrakhan playing on the radio. This is a fact. They would have, you would go into the house, especially the older people, and they would have Minister Farrakhan playing on the radio, or they would have it playing on tapes. So like a lot of people used to have tapes and cassettes, and then it went to DVDs like that. And I used to go into people's homes and they were playing this or whatever. So I've always been around the Muslim religion. I've been to mosque and people that were, my mom was a Muslim, but I've always been around people that were like that. And when I met my ex, I ain't had no idea she was Muslim. And so she allowed me to know. And I loved it about her. And I loved a lot of things that came with Islam. I will say that. Am I a practicing Muslim? No. But I like a lot of the tenets that they have. I like a lot of the camaraderie that they have amongst each other. And this is why I said that. I said, don't call me your brother, your sister, none of that shit. And I'm talking about, equal or, unless you're helping out the culture. Unless I can depend on you. And that's why I was giving an example of so many of these multi-billion-dollar artists. Listen, there are motherfuckers that know me that could literally change my whole fucking life right now, and they won't do it. You understand what I'm saying? They won't do it. Ace Hood, he used to be signed to DJ Khaled. He said, yo, I need money for my apartment or whatever. DJ Khaled told him as an answer, no, you need to write a #1 hit song. I'm like, all right, well, once I do that, what the fuck do I need you anymore for? Matter of fact, I'm going to write the hit song, and once I'm up out of here, fuck you. Fuck I want to be with this guy for? This guy tells me his answer, that means you won't even pay for my funeral if it happened. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to realize that a lot of these so-called old, like OG black men and Latin men, they're actually weak men. Like they're weak in every temperament. If you put them up in comparison with a white man, and I hate to say it like this, most of these dudes are weak as fuck. They really are. And they live for the advantage of going around showing off the smallest things amongst each other instead of showing off the bigger things to white folks. So I compete with white guys. Always have. Y'all heard me on camera a million times, cuss them out, tell them all kinds of shit, check them, every fucking thing. That's how I get my shit off. I grew up around Italians and Greeks. That's how I get my shit off. I get my shit off with white folks. I don't get my shit off with my own. You understand what I'm saying? Like Fabulous one time said, he said, I came to motivate the hood, not stunt on the hood. Y'all niggas want to stunt on the hood. You ever notice that little motherfucker come through with the used 2004? And you looking at them like, yo, we had that the year it came out. Those types. You know what I'm saying? They don't do anything but go around and try to show off, but don't add anything to the neighborhood except for their presence and their showboating, because they can't do it with anybody else. They couldn't go over to Greenwich and go over there and fucking show. You know who live over in Greenwich? Fucking Diana Ross. We see him in town all the time. Her sons, and one of the other daughters, the daughter that's like completely black. I forgot what her name is. She's a little bit older than Tracy. I think she's like 2 or 3 years older, or maybe younger than Tracy Ellis Ross. But they all be over there, like steps from where I live at here. And so I'm like, yo, why don't you go over there and stunt on them? Or go over to, any rich area within the country and go stunt on the white community over there. They won't do that. Go over there with the 2004 BMW. Go over there with the 2009 Mercedes. Go over there and stunt and see what happens. You're going to look stupid. And they know they're going to look stupid. They know this intentionally. That's why they don't do it. They do it to you instead, because they feel like you ain't got as much as them. In the same pissy elevator. I heard 50 Cent say that one time. He said, you can have 2 motherfuckers in the same housing projects. They both walking in the same pissy elevator, and one will think he's better than the other because the other one got new sneakers on. This is the average thought process of most blacks and Latinos. So it's sad, but a lot of these men, a lot of these men in the culture, including Tyrese, including a lot of these rappers or whatever, in my opinion, they weak ass men. And in the sentiment of not the Northeast, because a lot of y'all guys don't know that either. I've lived in the South and I lived in the Northeast. The reason New York City fell and this music fell, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say, because I was part of it. I was there when it happened. The reason New York City fell as a musical fucking empire wasn't because the record labels changed directions and changed the vehicles in which they released the music. It wasn't the marketing. It wasn't none of that. And it wasn't even the music itself. The reason why most of these fucking rappers in New York City failed to garner the attention of the nation like they once do, except for your regular people, Jay-Z and everybody else. I'm talking about moving forward. It's because they have no camaraderie. They don't stick together. They're not friends. They don't help each other. They don't, you want to do a feature with one of them, and you a New York artist too, they want to charge you $100,000 for a feature. You understand what I'm saying? I just asked somebody the other day, I said, yo, listen, I need a favor. I ain't gonna say who y'all are. Don't worry about it. I said, I need a favor trying to cook up something. Can you do a couple, couple lines, like 10 bars or something? Ah, man, listen, it's gonna cost you about 15. Word? Nigga, I look like I got 15,000 right now. I let it go. I let it go. But I just that's the move. And this is how New York artists been moving for a long time. You understand? And most artists in the tri-state, and most artists beyond the tri-state, if you go outside of New England and further up north, this is the mentality. When you're down south, the artists don't think like that. They'll beef with each other, yes. They'll feud with each other, yes. But the majority of them, they have learned how to work together for one common goal. And that's the problem with your CEOs and all these people that have been long-standing people from New York City that have now moved on, and they live in Calabasas, and they live in Italy, and they live in France. It's the same mentality these motherfuckers got. They must be peeping out the window with a telescope, but I wonder what the poor people are doing. They don't give a shit about you. So don't give a fuck what Tyrese said. Vlad TV did more of the fucking culture than Tyrese has. Vlad pays motherfuckers, including he was getting ready to pay Tyrese, wasn't he? Ain't that what the discussion about? Ask the question, guys, and I want you to do this. And make sure you donate too. STRINGERBELL80. I reiterated, we're going to be doing a lot of moving. And make sure you hit that like button. But so I need y'all support because I'm going to be leaving this evening so I can make sure I'm on time for everything tomorrow. You understand? Ask yourself this question, and I'm going to leave with this. Y'all didn't see me on here for 2.5 years. Some of y'all a little less time. Y'all have heard me reiterate, there's videos on my page how I was in the music industry, and I'm not trying to shake down the music industry. I'm not trying to ask anybody for anything. I'm just posing a question. Out of all those people that I knew in that business, don't you find it kind of odd that ain't one person came through and said, hey, yo, here go $2,000. Here go $3,000. Here go $5,000. Get yourself right real quick. After 17 years of being around motherfuckers, and not one person, do you know the wealth of information I have to offer? 17 years and nobody, and I've never said nothing. I've never taken the board of, let me start talking dirty about people or making up shit or adding on shit. I never did any of that for money, even when I needed it. And y'all know this because my show and my channel will reflect that. And I would want, if I was a CEO of any company and you used to, I don't care what capacity it was, and you used to work for me, the last thing I want is a nigga sitting up talking about, yo, I can't get, another nigga talking about I can't get some money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the last thing I would want. A motherfucker turn around on YouTube talking about, y'all, I can't get some money. So guys, I can't rely on the music business. So if y'all really want to give a stiff foot to the music business, hit up my Cash App. So I can show these people that, hey, people support me without you. Don't y'all get it? People support me without you. I appreciate the trips. I appreciate the expensive hotel rooms. I appreciate the expensive vehicles. We had all that shit, Suburbans, all that shit. We used to move around Miami with those goddamn things. Oh, we lived a good life. And I looked at that as family. I still look at them as fam. But fam don't help you all the way. You know, a lot of y'all got a grandma. If you called her right now and say, I need $100, she said, good luck to you. A lot of y'all got a mother. You say, I need somewhere to stay at. Well, you know, the home shelter open. Imagine that person. That's how a majority of people in the music business are, that are black and Latino, in my opinion. And that's why I said, when I do it this time, and how I do it, no matter what capacity it is, whether it's me singing, me overseeing other people's projects, there's many different things I can do. Y'all just don't know. Like, I know how to do a lot of things, you know. I just don't put it onto it or whatever, which is even more odd. Why somebody in the music business would offer me a job, or many other people that are now YouTubers that were formerly in the music business, offer them a job, or offer them some bread. You know what I'm saying? Hey, here's 20K, man. It ain't shit to me, but I know it'll change your life. You won't see any of these music artists, any of these music producers, you won't see any of these CEOs from the company, and none of them motherfuckers are gonna come to YouTube and do that for me or any other artist that they quote unquote fallen. You know what I'm saying? I had a fucking pandemic I had to withstand, and I did it by myself while I was homeless. Don't tell me fucking shit about hard times, you fucking fucks. So, and I documented it all on this channel. If you guys don't know, it's all on this channel. This is how I got my start. You know what I mean? So I don't wanna confuse any of y'all. Y'all thinking that I'm begging for money or whatever. I'm not. I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, damn, not one nigga in the music business, huh? would be like, yo, I know what that feeling's like. I know what it's like. Listen, man, I'm sitting on 20 million. There you go, 20 stacks. Hey, check your cash out. It's a mommy. Anyway, maybe one day that will happen, and I'll get up on here and I'll be like, yo, you know what? Let me shut the fuck up. This is what just happened. Guess what just happened? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys later. I'm gonna go wash some clothes and get ready so I can take off or whatever. And hopefully you guys will be there to support me. So make sure you hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Hit it up right now, man. Ticket, food. This is the essentials. I don't want to go out and buy a fucking, you know what I mean? I've never been that type of person. I've never wore chains, shit like that. Like, that's not my style, you know what I mean? So make sure y'all contribute. $STRINGERBELL80. And I personally, y'all already know, if you fuck with me, you know that I always give you a good show. And I got one for you, not one time this week, but 3 times this week. Hold on 1 second, because I want to see. Somebody just said they donated something or something like that. Let me see. Y'all give me 1 second, y'all. I want to thank Annette Foster. She got me started out. She just donated $25 to me. Thank you very much, Annette. I appreciate that. I just checked the cash out. And Annette always don't. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of y'all ought to be thanking Annette, because Annette funds a lot of these trips. You understand what I'm saying? She funds a lot of these trips. So if y'all sitting here and y'all viewing these locations I go to, these events I go to, or whatever, y'all better thank Miss Foster out in motherfucking Chicago for making it possible. Annette donates $150 sometimes. TMH Global, he's another one. He donates heavily all the time. You know what I'm saying? That was who donated me $50, and I think it was Reese. She donates all the time. Mama Lisa, she donates, and you know what I'm saying? No matter how little or how much or whatever, they donate, they contribute. So how come the rest of my viewers are not doing that? Especially when I'm taking out a location that these people are funding. I need funds, I need funders, I need supporters, and I need what's the word I'm looking for here? One of my not only supporters. I'm trying to look at what I'm looking for here. But somebody that financially backs you. I guess that's what I'm looking for right there. You know what I'm saying? And this is a goddamn shame or whatever. So see that music industry? There's somebody else donating when y'all won't kick in. And like I said, y'all ask yourself that question. I do, because I want to see the city. Haven't been to NY in my 20s. I got you. But still, nevertheless. And that funds a lot of this stuff. So make sure y'all hit up the Cash App so I can shout y'all out too. Make y'all a nice little video or whatever. That's better than shouting y'all out doing the fucking, what's that thing called? The super chats. I don't like doing that shit anyway. You know, Google takes like 35% of that. So if you donate $20 to me, the motherfuckers taking $5 or $6. Isn't that crazy? Greedy bastards. Anyway, guys, hit up that Cash App. I'll talk to you guys in a few.